Welcome to This Week at Intuit.
Well, hello there, and welcome to This Week at Intuit for a very special Halloween edition. I'm Scott Caplener.
And I'm Holly Perez. But before we get started, Scott, do you know that on average, people spend about $80 on Halloween?
Ooh, that's a lot of bananas.
Sure is. Let's get to our first story. A strong and mighty team of Intuit employees recently made a big impact in one New Orleans school district. Here is Intuit's Senior Vice President of Sales and CMO, Caroline Donahue, on how Intuit and CEO Brad Smith are living our company's We Care and Give Back value.
The pain point of the school was that they had spent all of the grant money that had been approved had been for the actual building and the interior stuff, but nothing for the exterior. So that day, we were able to work on the exterior and making the property look great, but the one thing they didn't have was a playground, and that had not been approved by any of the grant funds. And so towards the end of the activity, Brad went up to the principal and offered to pay for the playground. I think it made everyone there feel really proud to work for the company.
Intuit showed up in full force at the Sleater Accounting Solutions Conference last week. Here are a few highlights. The company announced the commercial availability of QuickBooks Online Accountant, new online enhancements to the Pro Advisor program, including QBO certification, and unveiled the first ever integration between Intuit's accounting and tax products. Intuit also got some cool recognition. QuickBooks Online was selected as one of the 2013 Awesome Applications by the Sleater Group.
Intuit is hiring a senior iOS software engineer for the Financial Management Solutions team. Based right here in the Bay Area, the position requires a creative problem solver with a passion for innovation. If you feel you make the grade, apply at intuitcareers.com.
In our continuing series for the love of business, we head back to Walla Walla, Washington for part 2 of our conversation with Steve Brooks of Trust Sellers. Steve talks about building his wine business from scratch and the valuable small business lessons he's learned along the way. Trust Sellers is also our Intuit Customer of the Week.
I felt like I lived under a cloud and I had to get out of that. It's gorgeous everywhere you look. But I never thought about making wine. That was for .com millionaires living in Northern California. So I'm trying to sample from both sides. Let's get out of here. There's a lot of ways to start a winery, right? If you have a lot of money, you can drive into town, call up a winemaker, and you can say, I'd like to start a winery. And chances are that winemaker is gonna say, sure. And he's gonna say, get out your checkbook. And there are people that do that. And they don't have to wear big heavy boots, dude, and they don't have to do their punch downs and all the stuff that I learned how to do because they can write a check. But I couldn't write that check. I didn't have that kind of cash, and I wanted the product to be me, whether it succeeded or failed. I wanted it to be my success, so I felt like I had to learn to do that. C-Raw, let's go in the back. Even though it's scary as hell. I got jobs at wineries working in the lowest possible position. Just like I did at CNN, I started at the bottom, except in these jobs, I made less than that because some of them I wasn't getting paid at all. I did whatever was asked and didn't complain. There's 120 some wineries in this town, most of which have tasting rooms open. One of the wonderfully amazing things about Walla Walla is that there's a tremendous amount of sharing. I have a question. Yeah. Here's one thing I've learned. You hire people that know what they're doing, that you trust.
The normal we store the Chardonnay on Fridays.
It's very hard to let go of things, but it's a smart thing to know when to let someone else come in and help you. The most challenging part is forecasting. Trends happen in the wine business. People are fickle. Things come and go. But the timeline for making wine is a long one. Between when I decide to make a wine and it's finished, it could be 2 to 3 years. And in that time frame, the market may have changed.
2 Walla Walla, 6 tap.
The label's always done by tattoo artists. It's incredibly fulfilling to think that I started with literally an idea. I built something from nothing that people will go out of their way to buy. Thanks, and I have no desire to go back to television.
Well, we want to thank you for tuning in for this very special Halloween edition. I'm Scott Caplener.
And I'm Holly Perez. Have a safe and magical Halloween. Come on, Banana, get down.
This is the Intuit Network.